This bizarre-looking creature is not something out of a science fiction movie, but an actual suborder of giant eurypterids that lived approximately 350 million years ago here on Earth. Sometimes referred to as sea scorpions, they were a member of a highly successful group of arthropods known as styloneurids. Today, we'll roll back the clock some 400 million years and visit 3 of these unique styloneurids. Long before the dinosaurs and most terrestrial life on Earth ever existed, Mother Nature was experimenting with different lifeforms and body plans best suited to the ever-changing world at the time. One clear winner in this evolution was the arthropod, and more precisely, the eurypterids. With a hard protective exoskeleton and legs capable of navigating both aquatic and terrestrial environments, the styloneurids thrived in this ancient world. Over 500 million years ago, during the Cambrian period, life on Earth began its remarkable journey. In the oceans, diverse and bizarre creatures flourished. Trilobites scuttled along the sea floor, while anomalocaridids, some of the first predators, swam with grace. This era marked the Cambrian explosion, a rapid diversification of life forms that laid the foundation for future ecosystems. As we moved into the Ordovician period, marine life thrived further. Coral reefs formed, creating complex habitats. Fish, some of the earliest vertebrates, began to emerge, their bodies evolving to adapt to the changing seas. But the Ordovician ended with a dramatic mass extinction, wiping out nearly 85% of species. The Silurian period brought new beginnings. Life returned to the oceans, and for the first time, plants began to colonize land. Simple vascular plants took root, paving the way for terrestrial ecosystems. Alongside them, arthropods ventured onto land, marking a crucial step in evolution. These early arthropod explorers were the styloneurids. Each with their own unique adaptations to fill different ecological niches, from hunting to scavenging and moving away from the seas as a place to call home. The eurypterids are divided into 2 suborders, the Eurypterina and the Styloneurina. This distinction is marked by the last pair of appendages. For the Eurypterina, this last pair of appendages is in the form of a swimming paddle. Measuring from only 1 inch to a massive 8 feet long, the Eurypterina boasted a streamlined body, powerful chelicerae, and a segmented tail equipped with a sharp spike or swimming fin. Its unique morphology made it a formidable predator, hunting down fish, mollusks, and other small marine creatures with speed and agility. The Eurypterina thrived in open oceans down to shallow, warm waters, often dwelling in estuaries and lagoons. Its adaptability allowed it to navigate both land and sea, making it one of the earliest arthropods to venture onto solid ground during low tides. The most common Eurypterina fossil is of Eurypterus. Fossils of Eurypterus have been discovered in North America and Europe, providing valuable insights into its biology and the environments it inhabited. These ancient remains reveal details about its life cycle, diet, and the ecosystems of the time. But today, our focus is on the Styloneurina. This group is defined by having only walking legs as appendages. They were not swimmers like the Eurypterina, but rather walked on the bottom of aquatic environments and terrestrial landscapes. They were adept at maneuvering through swampy, muddy surfaces such as tidal flats, ponds, and rivers. It is theorized that they had book lungs as a respiratory organ, similar to living spiders and scorpions. Book lungs are within small openings in the abdomen of the arachnid. The book lungs themselves consist of a series of hemolymph-filled plate-like structures. This would have allowed them to breathe for some duration out of the water. Holypterus excelsior is a genus of prehistoric eurypterid classified as part of the family Hardyopteridae. It lived in the mid-Devonian period around 383 to 376 million years ago. The only fossils of this species were found in New York and Pennsylvania, and they are rather incomplete. Holypterus is estimated to have been around 40 inches or 1 meter in length. A rather large styloneurid, it would have spent time both in and out of aquatic environments, preferring swamps, ponds and estuaries. It is believed that Hylipterus used sweep feeding to capture small invertebrates such as mollusks, snails, and worms. Sweep feeding involves capturing prey by raking through the substrate with specialized appendages. Research done on the appendages of styloneurids indicate Hylipterus would have been able to capture very large prey compared to its body size. Far removed from the predatory environments of the Devonian seas, styloneurids such as Hylipterus would have been one of the top hunters in the coastal landscapes and inland bodies of water. Based on its body size, Hylipterus would have needed to eat a lot and often. The famous painting of Eurypterids by the American master wildlife artist Charles Knight depicts Hylipterus swimming in an open sea. Though we now know that Hylipterus wasn't a swimmer and didn't live in the open sea. With a carapace, or head, that is very spider-like, it is easy to imagine Hylipterus behaving similar to its distant arachnid ancestors. Spiders typically have poor eyesight and rely on other senses to navigate and hunt. Spiders also have sensory organs on their legs and pedipalps that help them taste and smell. They can sense vibrations through tiny slits and hairs spread across their bodies. Perhaps Hylipterus used these same senses. Hibbertopterus scoleri was an enormous styloneurid. It lived over 300 million years ago during the late Devonian period. Known for its impressive size and unique features, Hibbertopterus is often referred to as one of the largest Eurypterids. Fossils of Hibbertopterus have been uncovered in various locations, including parts of Europe and North America. These discoveries provide invaluable insights into the morphology and behavior of this fascinating creature, shedding light on its life in the ancient past. With estimates from fossil evidence, Hibbertopterus would have been around 5.9 to 7 feet in length, or 2 meters. Its weight, however, was potentially a massive 1,000 pounds, making it not only the heaviest of all Eurypterids, but also the heaviest arthropod to have ever lived. Fossil trackways believed to have been made by Hibbertopterus give us insight into the size, speed, location and general mobility of this Goliath. Estimates on its locomotion put it at a very slow crawl. Its movement was very jerky, with the tail occasionally dragging behind it. Living in muddy, swamp-like environments, Hibbertopterus would have spent time both in water and on land. Its eyesight would have been rather poor, and it probably didn't have any predators large enough to pursue it. Hibbertopterus was also a sweep feeder. Given its enormous size, it may have constantly grazed on the bottom of swamps, ponds and estuaries, eating anything in its path. Its diet was probably small invertebrates and possibly even small vertebrates. Sweep feeding would have involved the use of its frontal appendages or chelicerae. The appendages of most styloneurids feature long comb-like spikes that they would use to rake through sediment and water plants, gathering any small organisms and sweeping them directly into their mouths. For a Eurypterid the size of Hibbertopterus, this would have been a constant routine. They probably stayed in a shallow pool of water for hours on end feeding until the area was depleted of prey, then moved on to another site to graze. Our last Eurypterid to look at today is Cocomopterus longicaudatus. The oldest and smallest styloneurid of the three, Cocomopterus lived during the late Silurian period, some 418 million years ago. Discovered in Kokomo, Indiana in the early 1900s, the fossil is nearly complete and exceptionally preserved. Cocomopterus was around 12 to 14 inches in length, or 36 centimeters, with long, slender, and powerful walking legs. The preservation in the fossil reveals a great number of details about styloneurid anatomy that lend to a better understanding of all the styloneurids in this suborder. Based on the composition of the fossil, we infer that Cocomopterus spent time in and around tidal flats and other near-sea estuaries. Among the first Eurypterids with fully articulated walking legs, it is almost assured that Cocomopterus spent time on land and was a formidable predator based on the structure of its eyes and presumed swift mobility. The eyes of Cocomopterus, like many Eurypterids, were crescent-shaped and would provide it exceptional 360-degree vision. Imagine being able to see the world all around you, front, sides, and back at the same time. It had literal panoramic vision, an astounding feature that is nearly impossible to grasp by our understanding, as we, and most animals today, have only stereoscopic vision. Cocomopterus had similar chelicerae to the other styloneurids for possible sweep feeding as well, however somewhat smaller and less defined. Cocomopterus was anatomically very similar to the early spiders, suggesting that it may have also lived a life as a predator in a similar fashion to their arachnid cousins. Most likely capable of ambush hunting, Cocomopterus, with its keen eyesight and speed, could have silently waited for prey to draw near, then rapidly pounced on trilobites and other soft-bodied organisms of the time. It may have held down and shredded their prey with their sharp chelicerae in rapid succession. The long stinger-like telson on their rear end may have also been used as a weapon of attack or for self-defense. The telson could have impaled soft-bodied animals such as the early jawless fish in a fraction of a second once the prey had drawn near and passed over Cocomopterus on the sea bottom. With this theory, Cocomopterus and other eurypterids with spike telsons may have had patterns and ornamentation on the top side of their exoskeleton to visually lure or hide from prey, similar to other camouflaged predators living today. As the Carboniferous period progressed, significant environmental changes began to unfold. The planet's climate underwent dramatic shifts, leading to alterations in sea levels and temperatures. These changes dramatically impacted marine habitats. During this time, extensive coal-forming forests emerged, altering the carbon cycle and contributing to fluctuations in oxygen levels. The intricate balance of marine ecosystems was disrupted, affecting all life forms, including eurypterids. In addition to environmental pressures, eurypterids faced increasing competition from newly evolved predators and changes in prey availability. The rise of armored fish with more advanced features, such as bony structures and improved swimming abilities, made survival more challenging for these ancient arthropods. By the end of the Carboniferous, eurypterids began to decline. While some species persisted into the Permian period, the combination of environmental shifts, competition, and predation ultimately led to their extinction. By the time the Permian ended, these once dominant predators had vanished from the planet. The extinction of the eurypterids serves as a reminder of the fragile balance within ecosystems. As environments evolve, so too do the species that inhabit them, sometimes leading to the rise of new life and, at other times, the fall of ancient giants. Though their genetic attributes still live on today in the form of spiders, scorpions, and all other members of the Chelicerata order. The styloneurids evolved features, sometimes very bizarre from our vantage point, that are still with us today 500 million years later. In a sense, eurypterids are still with us today in refined genetic features that trace their origins to the earliest life on Earth. The 200 million years of eurypterid evolution was strangely just the first part of the Chelicerata order, as they still continue to evolve and thrive even today. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and share for more content like this. Check out my other videos on the links provided here for other interesting animations of prehistoric life.